because of impulsive nature, because of habitual nature, because of the past memories, that causes the problem. And the same thing applies to the life. The existence has created everything in orderliness.
Right. That's why the very young people have the mind for the computer, but not the older people.
Yes, and at the same time, older people do not have their mind addicted to the computer, but the younger generation gets addicted to the computer.
It's not a good thing, huh?
It's not a good thing. You see that in each generation there are some challenges, and that are posed by the mind. Best thing to our topic today is finding the lasting peace in ever changing world. Lasting peace. So when we talk of the lasting peace, means peace in the morning, peace and happiness in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, at night, tomorrow, day after tomorrow. There is a continuity of peace and happiness and the joy we are experiencing behind the mind. The world outside is not going to change. Today is going to be summer, then I will feel the hot. Day after it's a cold, I will feel the cold. But that cold experience or the experience of the heat is taking place in the mind, and behind the mind, it is not impacted. There is no impact at all. There is no effect. Peace and the joy is maintained. So, what happens? We mess up with these two layers of the self. One is the real self, and one is the false self created by the mind. And that is why we are not able to discover that everlasting peace and happiness in our life. And that is, it is the perfect age for you. I did it many at a younger age, but it is your perfect age to discover that what is behind the mind that always lives in peace, happiness, joy, and the wisdom. That is what we say, the everlasting peace. But it is blocked by the mind. But why? Question comes, why? You see the cause and effect relationship
Yeah.
in the journey of the self discovery. So the master, one master says, I will pick up that his teaching. He says there is a situation outside. That situation is known as event, occasion, uh, weather, seasonal. So any situation has a time, place, object, person. So you see that step by step. Any situation may be a birthday celebration, an event, obituary. A lot of events is taking place every day in our life. Today you wake up in the morning, oh, it's too cold. Situation, today, time, place, object, I feel cold. But behind that, I feel cold is the false side. But I'm not impacted even if there is a cold, that is your real self. There are two eyes. One is the false eye, other is the real eye. Now, this false eye superimposes its experiences on the real life, and then we constantly suffer. So we have to understand. Uh, so the every situation, mind is seeking happiness in the world outside is delusional. Why it is we say false? Because it causes the delusion. But why? But why? And there is such a beautiful answer to that, discovered by our masters. Does any situation brings happiness? Let us analyze and observe. There is a birthday celebration, for example. So you have a cake, you host a dinner, lot of people come, they join, they wish you happy birthday. Now analyze each and every aspect of that situation which contains the property of happiness. Does the cake contain the property of happiness? No. Does the gift contain the property of happiness? No. Does any person who joins you contains the property of happiness? They are already have a jealousy why you are hosting a dinner on the birthday party, so they don't have the property of happiness. Oh, yeah, Anne is getting so many gifts, their happiness is gone. Do you see that? So no situation contains the property of happiness. Mind projects the property of happiness on that situation. That is why it is delusional. That is why it is delusional. So now what happens? The mind has moved too far from the real self in search of peace and happiness, where they are absent. Where they are absent, my God, they are absent, they are not there. But the mind is constantly seeking. Oh, very good. Oh, you have come. Acharya, you have come. Okay, very good. Thank you. But no, it is the happiness inside you filtered by the mind seeking, projecting happiness in the cake is delusional. And once you drop this delusion, you you instantly recognize there is a peace and happiness coming from within. It has nothing to do with any object, any person, any relationship in the world outside. My master used to be very tough. He used to give, I would say, very tough examples. You see the girl, he used to, it is his example, so I don't give those examples here to the American audience. So he says, you see the girl, it is very attractive. As long as the girl is in your sight, you experience a sense of pleasure, it is gone. Now the same girl is married to you. Very tough example, very tough to digest. And the next day he dies, what happens to you? You are in sorrow. Girl is the same. In one situation, girl met with an accident, but there is no relationship, no husband and a wife. Oh, I'm sorry about her. But now she is a wife, and I'm attached. Situational. Situational happiness is delusion. Situational peace is delusion. Situational happiness, love is also delusional. And we continue our journey in delusion of seeking this object and that person in our daily life. We continue to suffer. Why I continue to suffer? Because I can't see happiness is not the property of any situation. Peace is not the property of any situation. Now, how can you say, before sleeping, I put the diffuser with a fragrance of the aroma, I switch off the light, I have a sleep number, costliest bed. Does the state of sleep knows all this? As long as you are awake, you are arranging and putting them into order. Delusional. Sleep does not know what is waking state, and the waking state does not know what the sleep is. They are far apart. Say, for example, in deep sleep, you know I am sleeping. You are in a waking state. You are not sleeping. Think. This is the real time. This is the real way, to go into and find that permanent peace and happiness in our life. Our masters, 10,000 years, thousands of the text, the way they put the logic and understanding, cause and effect, relationship, and makes us understand. Even you start thinking, he will bring the gift to me, but the gift does not contain the property of happiness. He will bring the gift, I will be happy. One statement. Gift does not contain the property of happiness. Now see, in one case you are hesitated, what kind of a gift, whether I would like it or not. You see, the journey of the delusion starts there. And gift is not the property of happiness. Finished. Your mind is clear. No anxiety, no duality, no conflict is there. Whether my honey like it or not, I'm buying this. Delusion. Delusion starts. So I have to be very mindful of my thought that I'm passing on in my relationship, in the store, anywhere and everywhere. And even if I'm thinking I'm lonely, so Master says, contemplate, bring the knowledge near to you. I will talk about that in a minute. So yes, I'm lonely. Lonely means I have some expectations from the world outside, either from a person or from an object or from someone. That expectation is defined by my crazy mind or the false I am lonely. So one great master, you can also Google out J. Krishnamurti, who used to come to US in 80s. Oh, great master. He said there are two words, lonely. False I is ruling you. You are alone. The real self is ruling you. What is the real alone? Alone means all one. Lonely means I'm still seeking delusional peace and happiness from the world outside. So the moment I feel lonely, I feel upset, I feel anxiety, ask your mind what you are seeking. What you are seeking from the world. Peace and happiness. Oh, okay. So what object or a person by home you will get happiness. And I can bet you, once you find a person you will recognize that person is already full of stress. How he can spare any happiness to me? And the same thing with object, whether it is a computer, it's a refrigerator, or any equipment, any instrument. I tell you, great. I got a Lincoln Lee's car. There was some defect. So because it's a luxury car, so I went to the dealer, and the dealer gave me a loaner. Loaner means the loaner car, exactly the same model. So I and Prerna were returning to our home. It took 7 days. I got the car yesterday. Oh, you drive this car and there is no problem. So now you see that while driving, she said, the seat is not leather, it's a cloth, so that's not a good car. But driving is good. It's a newest model. I also get that same impression. So I was laughing at my mind. I said, keep continue. So yesterday I got my own car. It has got a leather seat. So my wife says, you see that the seat is very good. And actually I find the car that I have is better than the previous one. But now where is the delusion is playing its role? That we need to understand clearly. Once you understand that clearly, the delusion begins with the likes and dislikes. I like this, I don't like this by default. There is no reason why you like blue color, why I like red color. There is no reason. But still we say, still we use these words. I like this tomato. No, I dislike this. I like that tomato. No, I like this dress. All the dresses are made up of the clothes. One cotton, one dress material is there. Only the color changes. Color changes, the button changes. Master says this world is created by the existence as a marketing department. You have to learn from the world. You have not to get caught in the delusion and attachment with anyone, in any person, any object, any situation. Why? Then only the real self will continue to remain present and will continue to give you the peace and happiness, love and wisdom. Finding the lasting peace in the ever-changing world. That is the title I gave. Lasting peace, it is a permanent peace and happiness in the joy, which is the property of the real self. It cannot be undone. You're making such a loud state. How can you say that? We have to analyze and understand. The more you analyze and understand, you will be in peace and happiness. But how come all these masters, crazy masters, the world is full of suffering. Now the tariff is imposed by the Trump, so we have all the commodities, their prices are going up. I feel the pain. And you are saying that is peace and happiness? Yes. The master says, you look at it, be careful, that I cannot be angry and upset 24 hours. My mind switches on from the anger, from the anxiety, and mind aligns with some sense of calmness and peace. You have extreme stress. Say, for example, for 2 days, the existence puts you into deep sleep to refresh yourself, to be in stress again because you are delusional. Otherwise, the existence gives you those moments of peace and calmness all the time. All the time. You are listening to me, the body position, by default you change it. Why? Because you want a comfort. Who does it? I don't do it. So there is a real self present inside as a pure consciousness that 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 puts you into the state of the comfort. I cannot live in anxiety and the stress 24 hours, but I can live in peace and happiness 24 hours. I cannot put into agenda, into calendar that tomorrow at 10 a.m. let me have little stress. No, I will have little peace. It's by default, by natural. But the mind superimposes its condition. Why? Because it seeks situational happiness, delusional happiness, which is not possible. Why it is not possible? It does not exist. So what the Eastern wisdom simply says, the remove the ignorance. Remove the ignorance. When I say remove the ignorance, look at the teaching. Master says remove the ignorance. And then they go back and make you realize that I'm not the body and the mind. We think as if we will die, then I will be in peace and happiness. Again, you fall into a new level of ignorance. We are not saying that. What we are saying that the identification with the body must go. Where? In your mind. But why in the mind? Because mind is living in ignorance. I have to put the knowledge in the mind. How? By listening and learning. First step. By repeat listening and learning, followed by the contemplation and reflection, that knowledge comes near to you by contemplation and reflection. And whatever the doubt remains, that is removed by the meditation. So we have fundamentally, at the highest level of journey of yoga, are the 3 steps only. But your mind is not able to understand. Then what we do, we say, oh, go for hatha yoga, go for breathing, go for mantra. So then we personalize these practices. Otherwise, then we also give you lot of rituals. Why? So that at least your mind can break the connection of seeking happiness from the situation, from the world outside and you. So that your mind starts changing the direction. Instead of moving and scattered outside, it starts moving inside. That is. So now you see that I have used many words and phrases, and that is what we say, finding everlasting peace in an ever-changing world. Ever-changing world. World is keeps on changing, mind is keeps on changing, body keeps on changing, intellect keeps on changing, ego keeps on changing, except one thing, the real self. What is that real self? It's a pure consciousness. How to explain that pure consciousness? We say it is existence, consciousness, and bliss. We will understand in the following sessions that how to define and experience the very existence, consciousness, and bliss. That is the nature of the real self. What is the false I? First, how the false I is built up. First, mind says I am the body, then I am the life, then I am in a particular situation, and that creates the false I. We are not talking of the false I where we show our arrogance and we fight. No. Our false I, that personality, that mask over the real self, our particular attitude and behavior by which we respond to a situation, by which we respond to the people. You'll be surprised to know our master says 99.999% of our mind reacts to the situation because of expectations and delusion. We don't respond to a situation. at this age, when you respond to a situation, you grow, you rise in awareness. In reaction, you fall down. 99.99999% of the time, our mind has learned to react, which we have quoted as a response. Why? It contains the moment of likes and dislikes. It contains the jealousy. It contains the expectations. It contains the lot of duality and a conflict. In externally, we may not be reacting. Come on, Anne, how are you? Oh, your tone seems to be. Your tone tells me the story. It's just a dry statement. You are already reacting. Do you see? Some people have this attitude. They continue. How are you, Anne? I have been missing you. Oh, for the last 5 years, you never called me. You are missing me. Thank you. Thank you very much. You are missing me. So you simply enjoy because you are aware of yourself. And there you learn I should not say the same thing to the others. So response keeps your mind free from situational and delusional happiness. It helps you to learn. It helps you to grow. So when you learn, when you teach your mind to respond in every situation, there is too much of cold, you are responding to the cold. How? You don't blame the cold, you just bring the blanket and cover yourself. Finished. Do you see? Do you see? Situational. Situation. What the heck, there's too much of cold. Oh, 2 feet of snow. I don't know how I will survive. You see, look at each statement. All are delusional. You are surviving. You have survived for many years in New Jersey. Do you see that? Bhavya was saying, it's a terrible code, I just want to move there once I get a good job. So internally, I don't say, I said, if I say, then she will react. I said, oh, yes, you are right, you are right, you are right. I don't react to it.
But with climate change, you cannot win.
Yes, that is, I don't recognize that delusion part. You are right. You raised a very beautiful point. I
What
simple.
happened in Canada? The people who had to flee the fire because they had to get to the next town, which was 100 miles away, they drove a road where there was fire on both sides. So I never complain. Some people says, "Oh, the weather gets so nice," and yeah, but wait a little bit longer, you will burn then.
So it's not weather is nice, but my mind is nice because it is responding to the weather.
Yes,
That is the point
that's right.
our
That's
master
true.
is making. You see that? You have to remember this. I have to respond to a situation where the mind internally is free from the likes and dislikes, from the attachment and detachment. It is not heavily dependent on the situation, on the environment, on the climate, on the food, on the clothes, etc., etc., etc. One guy told me that now I look fresh. Why I look fresh? I got my hair cut. All the gray hairs on my eyelids are trimmed. I said, "What do you mean?" I just, out of the joke, I said, "What do you mean? I don't feel fresh." I have such a untrimmed beard. So if you want to be fresh, next time again you go to hair salon, get your hair cut, pay them, and so that you feel fresh. It is a delusion. So we have created millions of delusion in our life. You see that's such a simple thing. He says by haircut I feel the freshness in my mind. You, so I catch them instantly. And he said, "You are right, but so it means it is the impurity of the mind." I said, "Yes." How to get rid of it? By thinking.
Yeah.
By consciously thinking. Get rid of this thought. Mind? Are you crazy? How can you be fresh? By haircut. It means the women can never be fresh.
That's right.
he, he said, "You are right. So, our masters give you a different perspective in life. Take another perspective, it has just come to my mind. So that is why it takes a long time, because we start with at the physical level, first set of delusion, then second set of delusion, then third set of delusion, and ultimately I find myself, I have recognized I am the real self, everlasting peace. That is done. But it takes time. Knowledge, the seed cannot become the tree overnight. So the knowledge is not digested overnight. It cannot convert into wisdom. Step by step it happens. So yeah, last week I was just talking, it just came to my mind. I said, why it came to my mind, you see that when you become a higher level of a seeker, you extract the knowledge from every situation. Say your body is sensitive to the cold, instead you extract the wisdom from from that situation. So we went for an annual checkup, and we gave the blood, and now we are going to meet the doctor. What is the status of the health? So at the reception, this beautiful girl told us, we'll send you the medical report by email. Don't worry about it. So my mind clicked. For what? I said, report is the same. Whether you say it's a medical report or you say it is a medical complaint, the doctor will never say it's a medical complaint. But what happens that doctor says medical report, but my mind takes this as a medical complaint. Oh, that's really serious. What should I do? Do nothing. Do nothing. Take care of yourself. Start responding. But why? Now there is another challenge in our life. If you understand it clearly, from today there will be no fear, no anxiety at all. What I'm going to say. That is again based on one principle. So you may have many medicines in your shelf, and if you look to those medicines, so there is a date of expiry of those medicines. You cannot revive it. So instead of saying date of birth, you say date of issue of this body and mind by the existence. It is not the date of birth. What about the date of expiry? Existence knows. He has to take care. You take care. Why should I take care? Date of expiry is certain, but the time, date, and the moment is uncertain. But why it is uncertain? Because it is unknown to me. But why it is unknown to me? Is it possible to know? Yes. When we reach to the state of awakening, I can know. Otherwise, who knows it? The existence knows it. So date of expiry is unknown. Why you have fear of the death of unknown? Are you crazy? So our mind is really crazy when we have a fear of death. This body mind is not given to me by my choice. I did not have a choice that I should be born on this particular day at this time with these parents in this country. No choice. So date of issue, I don't have a choice.
Yeah. But what concerns me, I had the doctors 2 years ago, they found that my heart was irregular. They call it AFib, atrial fibrillation.
Yeah, fibrillation, yes.
And yeah, so I looked up, they didn't tell me much. So I looked up the internet and they said it augments, it increases the stroke, a risk of a stroke 6 times, which is sounds like a lot. So, but that was 2 years ago. I'm still waiting.
Don't wait. Live your life
I
fully.
know, I know, but I have a doctor, and I really liked him. People can do what you call ablation.
Yeah.
And I have a friend, she takes some medicine and she wanted me to to see this doctor. So my doctor said, we don't do anything. Ablation doesn't mean it's always 100%. He doesn't want it. And and the thing with the kind of medication, we stay away from it, and I feel okay, but I feel sometimes my heart is going like this, but then it comes down. Yeah.
The moment you have those symptoms, respond to those symptoms going into meditation and peace. Don't
Yeah.
allow the mind to get delusional. When if
Mm,
it
I
gets delusional, then you have an anxiety, then you have a reaction, and that anxiety and reaction will increase the symptoms. But
yeah.
after all, why to worry? Existence, you have given the date of issue and date of expiry belongs to you. Finished.
Yeah.
So when I understand this and this becomes the wisdom in my life, there is no anxiety, there is no fear. There is no fear.
That's right.
I remember our one president in India, his name is Abdul Kalam. He was a great scientist, a missile man. He is known as the missile man because he created the entire range of the missiles for India's defense. And then he was elected as a president of India. He was a great disciple of one great master who is known as Sri Aurobindo. So Sri Aurobindo philosophy and his teaching is based on these three steps: listening and learning, and contemplation and reflection and the practice. Because he was a scientist, so he left all the rituals and he used to do those practices. So there is one principle that you continue to work, how you continue to live and work without selfishness. That is what is known as the karma yoga. Karma yoga means Yoga here means the attitude and behavior in the mind is reflected by the real self, and karma means action. You go to the kitchen, I give you one example. You go to the kitchen and you say, existence, let me cook for you. Because I'm also a part of the you, so let me cook for you. Not, I don't cook for myself. I don't speak for myself. I don't work for myself. So that myself is the personality and the ego and the delusional part. So you start changing your mind by responding, oh, today wake up in the morning, thanks God. Thanks God I'm alive. It's a sunrise. Thank you, existence. So every time I'm in this moment of gratefulness, now coming to this guy, he lived his life like a great awakened master. So he was delivering a speech in one university. Thousands of people students were listening, including the professors, and in the middle of that, he took just a sip of water and he fell down on the podium. He died. But looking at his life, he said, he was almost in his 80s, and he said, okay, I'm just working for my nation. I'm committed. I'm working for my people. He never allowed his mind to think that I'm working for myself. A great man. He was a Muslim, but a great man. Great man. So we have seen many masters. My master knew that, today is the time and date of expiry, I know. So he told that nobody is going to cry. Promise me, if you are really my student, nobody is going to cry. I was not there, but I heard, and we have a video. So then you put me into a wooden shelf, wooden box with the big holes. Put this body and then sink into the Ganges River. Why? This body will be eaten by those living creatures in the ocean, in the river. So at least, they will be happy they have food for a couple of days. You see the response of the mind. Response, not a reaction at all. Not a reaction. So what we did today, everlasting peace, means it is an attribute. That very peace is the real self. We have to understand how the pure consciousness in Eastern wisdom is explained. It is explained as existence, consciousness, bliss. Bliss means the permanent happiness.
Yeah.
Then who prevents me to recognize it is the ignorance. Ignorance leads to the false self, false ego. So my real self is hiding behind it. Ignorance, and that ignorance, one example I gave you, that I'm looking for peace and happiness outside in a situation with the people and relationship. It is situational. Happiness does not exist at all. No exist. What I have to apply? I have to apply the power of discernment in the intellect. That is what we have applied in today's lesson. So what I did, discernment, I separated. This is situational happiness, which is a temporary pleasure, and the permanent happiness is inside. So by the power of discernment, through contemplation and reflection, we separate the two. What is false, what is real. Simple example. what is real and what is false keeps on changing. It continues to change. It continues to change its name and the form, color, texture, everything. So what continues to change will also be fragmented. Their shape and the size will also change. What is unchanging is the real. But how to find the real self? By constant contemplation and reflection of each layer of the change, recognize it, realize it, and let the mind respond. Oh, this is changing. What is changing? Body is changing. I'm not the body. Do I not continue to live? That I continues to live when I was born. I am 10 years old, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 80. Oh, the body has changed from the birth until now. It does not mean that I have to leave the body. I have to drop that false idea, false notion that I am the body. Same thing with the life. I will conclude this today's session with a quite interesting note. Do you have a car? Yes. You say, yes, it's my car. But you never say. You see that the delusion means ignorance is so deep in our mind that our mind contradicts itself in different situations. That is what we are talking about. So it's my car, but I am not the car. Clear? He is my son, but I am not the son. Clear? This is my home, but I am not the home. What about this is my body? When there is a pain, I am the body. You see, the mind contradicts itself. Our masters are saying, look at you. You look at the foolishness. Your mind is contradicting you. So can you rely on your mind of all the experiences offered by the mind? Answer is no. We have a clarity. Mirage water. I experience it through my perception, but the water is not there. Blueness of the sky. Sky is not blue. If you go into the sky, there is no blueness. Go and find out the water in the mirage, the water is not there. So Master helps us to understand that way. Also now you contemplate and reflect again. This is my body. Sorry. So when I say this is my body, yes, fact. This is my car, fact. This is my whole house, fact. But then how come this crazy mind says that I am the body? If this is my home, I'm not the home. Very clear. But this is my body. This car, this home, this sun. Same thing, this body. So the moment you have that awakening and that level of awareness, these symptoms have no value at all. Do you
But I was shaken up a little bit because my friend Dagmar has a friend in Arizona. And I have met her several times. And from time to time, I ask her, how is Edith? That was a friend she knew when she was teaching in Paris at the age of 22. And I said, how is Edith? she was so much in pain that 1 year ago she went to Switzerland to have her, to, because it's apparently it's legal, to have her